tabletop games being as popular as they are, it's natural that video game adaptations should come into fruition.
My duty is to watch this place.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 video games based on tabletop games. For this list, we're examining the best video games inspired by licensed tabletop games, finding those that both channel their source material and expand on the experience. Whether it's role-playing, mech-based action, or tile-based tactics, these video games truly embody their original works.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Your run-of-the-mill board game-inspired video games, like Monopoly and chess, can be found on our list of top 10 video games based on board games. Number 10, Eye of the Beholder. A simple but focused quest mixed with classic role-playing. How can you go wrong? Eye of the Beholder, based on advanced Dungeons & Dragons, draws upon its source to tell a tale of adventurers hunting down the titular beholder creature beneath the city of Waterdeep. This first-person role-playing game adapts the party-based progression of Dungeons & Dragons into a three-dimensional dungeon setting, relying on a simple point-and-click interface for almost everything. Yet, it's this simplicity, combined with a sizable area to explore, that makes the game easy to engage with. Number 9, Forgotten Realms, Demon's Stone.
Your turn?
It's the mark of the trolls who attacked Nesme. If they're somehow behind this!
It might not be typical, but it's certainly interesting. As the title suggests, Demon's Stone is set in the Forgotten Realms campaign setting of Dungeons & Dragons, focusing on the efforts of three warriors that are trying to stop a pair of ancient villains. In terms of gameplay, Demon's Stone draws from the hack-and-slash school of design. Players switch between each of the three playable warriors at will, combating a variety of foes with melee and ranged attacks. The action meshes well with a script by R.A. Salvatore, creating an adaptation that honors its source in its own unique way.
Well, if you're right, we leave this cage alive. After that, who knows?
Number 8, Dungeons & Dragons, Shadow over Mystara. In the age of arcade games, this was quite a gem. Set in the Mystara campaign setting, this arcade beat-em-up featured certain innovations not seen elsewhere, such as the ability for characters to pick up usable gear and earn new spells with experience. Shadows of Mystara allows up to 4 players, selecting from 6 available character classes, to battle through hordes of minions under the control of the sorceress Sin. Featuring everything from special combat moves to collectible treasure, this title offered players plenty in the way of engaging experiences. Number 7, Pool of Radiance. This game, set in the Forgotten Realms campaign setting of Dungeons & Dragons, has a trick up its sleeve. The premise is simple. You control a party of adventurers arriving in the city of New Flan, only to be tasked with clearing monsters from the city. From that point, however, the game splits into 2 modes. A first-person exploration mode for dealing with the party and other characters, and a top-down tactical mode for combat situations. Mixing puzzles and character relations with tactics, Pool of Radiance was truly special. Number 6, Icewind Dale. Cold and harsh as the setting may be, Black Isle Studios' 2000 release remains compelling.
I am content to call this town my home.
Icewind Dale, based on the titular region in Forgotten Realms, puts players on a quest to investigate the disappearing warmth of a giant tree.
That is a tale long in the telling.
The game proper blends real-time action with the rule set from the 2nd edition Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. It actively controls dice rolls and monitors statistics behind the scenes. The intricacies of this combat-oriented role-playing game are as impressive as they are engrossing.
Although I am certain you are the heroes of my vision, I fear you are not yet strong enough for the task at hand.
Number 5, Planescape Torment. The odd majesty of Planescape merged with isometric role-playing action. You are the Nameless One, a warrior awakening in a morgue with no recollection of his past. The Nameless One's player-influenced quest for answers and purpose is compelling, especially with each new and unusual companion he takes on. Planescape Torment also sports balanced gameplay, offering varied options in every situation while permitting the player to make their own decisions. The game having roots in the rule system of, you guessed it, Dungeons & Dragons certainly doesn't hurt either. Number 4, MechWarrior 2: Mercenaries. With respect to MechWarrior 4: Vengeance, we feel that this is the more noteworthy title. As the expansion for MechWarrior 2: 31st Century Combat, this places you in the role of a mercenary squad, taking contracts from 4 distinct factions caught in an 8-year war. Mercenaries offers freedom of choice over missions and control over finances earned. Though the star attraction here is the mech-based combat, complete with an increased number of battle mechs and other vehicles to enjoy. Being the final BattleTech video game released by Activision, it's a fine send-off.
Dropship Wild Ride, this is Deadeye. Me and Fresh Meat here have finished our sweep and are heading back home. Area is secure. Not a bad day, kid.
Number 3, Neverwinter Nights. Comprising about 60 hours of gameplay, this is quite the content-filled game. Developed by BioWare, Neverwinter Nights concerns the player's quest to stop an evil cult and find a cure for a plague that has overrun the city of Neverwinter.
Soon, all of Neverwinter would feel the touch of the Wailing Death.
Said quest takes players north of the city to handle quests both optional and mandatory while working towards the original goal. Neverwinter Nights also delivers in its technical details, with impressive animations, a server-based multiplayer suite that can handle up to 96 players, and widely praised use of, Dungeons & Dragons rules in the gameplay.
Their story does not end here, for this is a world of infinite tales.
Number 2, Warhammer 40,000: Dawn of War.
Hold the line! In the name of the Emperor, you will not falter!
Time for some strategy goodness inspired by the Warhammer tabletop game. Warhammer 40,000: Dawn of War deals with the Blood Ravens chapter of the Space Marines attempting to reclaim the planet Tartarus, only to be caught in a larger conflict. This transitions into a real-time strategy game with 4 playable factions, a resource management system based on requisition and power, and units with varying degrees of morale to manage.
I sense danger. We will root it out.
Add to that an impressive level of visual detail, and thus you have a fascinating and enthralling game on your hands.
While the enemies of the Emperor still draw breath, there can be no peace.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1, Baldur's Gate 2: Shadows of Amn.
Wake up! Come on, we have to get out of here.
As we've seen today, there's more than a few games based on Dungeons & Dragons, but this one stands out among the finest.
I'll hurt you if I have to.
As the sequel to 1998's Baldur's Gate, this game picks up with the player-controlled hero and company being drawn into the ongoing troubles of the city of Athkatla.
Ah, the child of Baal has awoken.
Baldur's Gate 2 draws upon its roots in the Forgotten Realms to great effect, presenting a lively world and providing easy-to-follow quests as a means of exploring it.
Ooh, you are a smart one!
From its painting-like visuals to its increasingly interesting storyline, its status as a classic is not to be denied.
Oh, one is always able to provide entertainment.
Do you agree with our list?
This I cannot say.
What's your favorite video game based on a tabletop game? For more awesome top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
I was in that fight, but I was knocked out early.